Carl Rogers is a psychologist who's very famous for his humanistic perspective, the idea that people are unique and it's their choices, their free will, their perceptions of things that matter the most. So Rogers has a humanistic therapy called person-centered therapy. And person-centered therapy has shown to be very effective, particularly in treating people who are capable of making decisions and capable of making positive changes in their lives. There's 4 elements of person-centered therapy that you'll want to be familiar with, and I have arranged them in a way that is cheesy, but hopefully will help you remember them. And that is to think about who is a human. You are. U-A-R-E. So that's the 4 elements. We'll go through them one at a time in that delightfully cheesy way of hopefully effectively memorizing them. So the first is unconditional positive regard. That's what the U stands for. Unconditional positive regard is a crucial concept for person-centered therapy in that people need unconditional love, support, and acceptance. Especially someone going to therapy, Rogers would suggest that they maybe didn't get that from their parents or from their partners or from people in their lives. They don't feel like someone is supporting them or loving them for who they are. So sometimes it's the therapist's job to provide that unconditional positive regard. That sounds great, but again, therapists are people too, so they have to remain extra hard and extra vigilant in showing the client that they're giving them this love and affection and support. But that's unconditional positive regard. The second element is authenticity. Authenticity is basically honesty. It's when the therapist gives an honest and open answer or statement to the client. So again, that sounds great. Of course you want an honest therapist, and clients usually respond very well to that. But it's not always easy because sometimes you have to say things that someone might not want to hear, and you still do it in an encouraging, positive way. But for humanism to be effective, you have to be authentic in what you say. You have to have that kind of honest response to your clients. The third element is reflection, and this is when you say to someone just what they've said back to you. Again, that sounds simple and easy, but a lot of times people don't feel like they're understood or that people listening to them. How many of you have ever told someone something important and you're pretty sure they weren't listening to you? Maybe they were texting, maybe they were staring at you and moving their head up and down, but you really weren't sure that they were listening. So reflection is an important tool because by telling someone just what they've said back to you, you've shown them, hey, clearly I heard you because I'm able to say it back to you. You don't have to make it robotic. You can work it in a way that's very natural, but it can be a great thing to let someone know that they are being understood. And then the fourth element is empathy. Now, empathy sounds like sympathy. Both are good things, but empathy is kind of a step up from sympathy. Sympathy is just when you feel sorrow for someone's loss or for someone's pain. If your dog has passed away and you tell me that, if I have sympathy for you, I just think to myself, oh, I wish that hadn't happened. But if I'm demonstrating empathy, I'm trying to understand how you specifically feel about the loss of your dog. So I would want to know, I would want you to tell me how long you had that dog, how the dog died, if the dog was in pain, if you liked the dog. Questions like that, where I'm not just thinking about how I would feel, I'm understanding how you feel. So empathy is putting yourself in someone else's shoes and trying to understand what they're going through. Those 4 elements are crucial in terms of understanding and delivering person-centered therapy. And even if you don't want to be a therapist, many people feel very strongly that giving those 4 qualities to the people they care about can actually improve communication. So unconditional positive regard, authenticity, reflection, and empathy. Make sure you know what they are and be able to identify them in examples.